All right, guys, welcome back. This is episode, we're at 6 now?
6.
Nice. We're getting through it.
Yep.
Today's episode, we are going to be talking about some of our daily habits when it comes to our physical fitness and health. And then we're also going to make sure we cover the finance side to it too. Some of the habits that we've built throughout the years that we can share with you guys. And hopefully you guys will be able to put those into practice as well. So yeah, this is Money Body Goals. Don't forget, if you haven't done so far, to subscribe so you can keep seeing our videos. And we appreciate everybody that watches, and we appreciate the likes. So thank you for watching, and let's get to it.
And we'd love to see some more comments too. So let us know what resonates with you, maybe what you'd want us to elaborate more on, and we'll definitely keep that in mind for future episodes.
And if you don't know us so far and you're new to the channel, I'm Dalton DeCastro.
And I'm Ryan.
I'm a personal trainer and coach.
And I'm a certified financial planner and a wealth coach.
Yeah, so let's do it. I want to talk about some of the habits that we have for our fitness side. I'll ask you a couple of questions about your habits, and then you can kind of elaborate and talk about what you've been doing lately. So give us a little bit of an idea of what your habits for nutrition has been so far.
So I'm the type of person who needs to track the food that I'm eating so that I know exactly how much protein I'm hitting, carbs and fats, because to be honest, I am not good at eating. That's something I really struggle with. So if I'm not doing that, I'll probably skip a meal or I won't be getting as much protein as I need. So that really helps me stay on track with my goals. And right now my goal is to add especially lower body muscle.
Yeah. So we're focusing on your nutrition side while still training hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for some of the viewers who are very interested in the nutrition side, I know a lot of people don't track, and tracking is actually very challenging for a lot of people. I'll be honest, tracking is the easiest thing you can possibly do, and it will guarantee you results. But if you're one of the listeners who just can't get into tracking and you just don't want to dive into that, I totally get it. My tip for you guys would be just focus on your protein. Like, eat as much protein as you can per meal. It will help you stay fuller, and it will also help you not fill your meal with so many junky volume foods, right? So just for an example, let's just say one of your meals was 3 whole chicken breasts, just that by yourself. I can guarantee you, you're going to be so full and you're not going to want to eat anything else after eating that. I don't recommend doing that because that sounds terrible. It's not even something I would do, but it's just an example of when you eat that much protein in your meal, it will fill you up a lot more and you're not going to be munching on all the carbs and higher fatty foods. So just focus on your protein and do your best to obviously get your vegetables in and your fruits. So that's my little tip there for the nutrition side.
Mm-hmm. And be more mindful of the snacking throughout the day.
Yeah, and honestly, if you are going to be snacking, snack on good stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you can snack on fruits, you can snack on some vegetables.
Try to get protein
Protein.
even in your snacks, like Greek yogurt cups. Yeah, a great example. Cottage cheese.
Yeah, like a protein shake.
Yes.
If you're constantly diving into your chips, your French fries, your cookies, your muffins, all of those things that are just higher volume and just like so much more calories,
Yeah.
that's where your downfall is. That's why you're having a hard time losing that stubborn body fat.
And I actually like to save my protein shake for after dinner, before bed. And that always makes me feel full. And I never feel like I need something after that. Whereas I think a lot of people will grab something, when they're watching TV and kind of just winding down for the night.
Yeah.
So just something to be more conscious of.
Like the other day, I posted on Instagram my Greek yogurt bowl that I made. It was honestly the most simple meal that I've ever made. And I was eating a lot of that on prep. It was the easiest 40 grams of protein that I'll ever get.
Yeah.
And people were just so baffled and, oh, what is that? Like, what's the recipe on that? How often do you eat that? And I'm just saying, like, guys, like, it's just Greek yogurt and raspberries. I threw 2 things together. It was 0 fat Greek yogurt, which by itself doesn't taste the most appetizing. So that's why I mix in the raspberries just to give it a little bit of flavor. But it's just something I can mindlessly eat. And it kind of tastes like you're eating a dessert just before bed. And it's easy to get that much protein in just before you sleep. So good snack and good little dessert option too if you're the type of person who has to have a dessert every meal.
Yeah. There's a lot of ways you can get creative with it. You can make protein ice cream. I used to make chocolate protein mug cakes in the microwave. I don't remember the recipe for that exactly, but it turned out pretty well.
Yeah.
So
there's so many.
It doesn't have to be boring.
Yeah, there's so many people on Instagram and platforms that will post their recipes for high protein meals. It's inexcusable, I'd say, to say that you can't find those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so easy. You just Google it and you'll find so many recipes. It's just like, how dedicated are you to try these recipes?
Yeah.
Right? So you just have to be creative. How's your hydration?
I'd say hydration's really easy for me. I love drinking water. Um, People are probably just gonna find that annoying, me saying that, because I know a lot of people are the opposite, but working out helps too. Like, I'll drink 3 bottles of water while I'm just at the gym working out.
Yeah.
So that definitely helps with water intake.
I think just having a water bottle by you at all times.
Yeah, always accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I play a little game that every time I look at my water bottle, I have to drink it, even if it's just a little sip, just so I can tell myself I'm staying hydrated. So I've been very good at staying hydrated throughout, I'd say my entire life as a personal trainer.
I'm weird. Like, I actually crave ice water.
I love ice water.
I
Ice water hits it different.
It really does, yeah. Especially at night. Ugh, yeah. But we're weird.
I know Raya is phenomenal with her sleep. If anything, she actually oversleeps.
Yeah.
It's incredible. You want to give them a deeper dive on your sleep habits?
Oh, I hit a minimum 9 hours a night.
So
Easily, and I sleep like the log. Like, I do not wake up.
yeah, with all the crazy things that I do in my sleep, I don't know how you don't wake up often, but I would say I'm the opposite. I am a very high functioning individual off little to no sleep. It's not good. I don't recommend it. I'm not telling people that they need to sleep little, but I was working jobs back in the day where I would sleep only 4 or 5 hours and I would perform like a machine. Now that I'm getting older, I'm starting to realize how important the sleep is and catching up. So when it hits like 9:30, 10 o'clock, like I'm trying my best to just be ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
But I aim for about 6, 7 hours of sleep and I'm good off that.
Yeah. Whereas I know that I cannot function on less than 8 to 9 hours of sleep.
If she gets like 6 hours of sleep, she's an absolute demon. It is terrifying how bad she functions.
It destroys my day. Like, I can't wake up on time. I'm hitting the snooze alarm. I'm waking up and just wanting to stay in bed. It's just not a good way to set up your day if you're not getting enough sleep. And also, the habits that I implement is putting my phone away well before I'm trying to wind down for the night and go to sleep. And also, I turned off all my notifications lately for social media so that first thing in the morning when I am hitting my alarm on my phone, I don't see a bunch of notifications for Instagram and Facebook and that sort of thing, so that I can just wake up more mindful of like being in the moment and not thinking about a million different things right away.
And once again, I am the opposite.
Yeah.
Where I'm not going to lie. I will admit this on camera, and Raya said it many times. I am 100% addicted to my phone, and I acknowledge it. Like, I'm on my phone a lot. I feel like I live on my phone. Would I say that that's healthy? No, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that can relate to this that are watching, and we just need to find our ways of how to function where we're not so reliant on our phone. So like what Raya said, putting your phone away before bed makes a really big difference.
And I'll put it across the room where I can't reach it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if it's beside me on my nightstand, like, I'm looking at that right before I go to sleep. I can't help it.
Yeah, that's something that I can definitely improve on for sure.
And trust me, if you're waking up in the morning and not looking at notifications, it feels so much better.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So give it a try. At least just try it.
So let's look at some financial habits that I can do a little dive on. Tracking spending. I'll cover this one first because I don't. I don't track my spending, but Rye does. So when you have a relationship where there is a person who can take over on the financial side, it's really helpful. It would be good, obviously, for 2 people to be able to do it, but this is her job. She does this for a living, so she's really good at it.
And I enjoy it.
And she enjoys it. So I let her essentially do the tracking of spending for us.
To be honest, like, I haven't taken it that seriously in previous years where I'm actually writing everything down in a spreadsheet and checking in once a month and looking at exactly how much we spent in certain areas. But this month I started doing that just to be more conscious of exactly where our money is going so that we can be more strategic with things. So, for example, I think something we've always done really well is just trying our hardest to be cash flow positive every month. So because I'm self-employed and even with yourself, our incomes fluctuate a lot.
Yeah.
So we could have low months or we could have a really good month. But for us, because of that, we've learned how to keep our expenses low so that when we are, let's say, both having a lower month, we're not stressing about, not being able to pay something off.
Yeah.
So that's just how we've learned to operate and live below our means, which is something that's really important. And so take this month, for example, there's a lot of expenses just in March. So I've had to renew my CFP designation. I've had to renew my E&O insurance. There's just a few things that are happening this month where I know it's going to be an additional, let's say, between $3,000 and $4,000.
Yeah.
on top of our average monthly spending. So for that reason, I can look at other things and maybe postpone them to April or even later. So like, for example, I was supposed to go to the dentist this month, but because I'd be paying for that out of pocket, I just rescheduled and pushed that off to next month. Like, things are going to come up all the time. So we have a wedding next month. I have the baby shower. So because some other expenses are pretty high this month, I can say, well, I don't necessarily need to go shopping for that right now. I can probably just wait and do that next month.
Yeah. And this is the importance of why you should be tracking all of these things, because you can prepare yourself well in advance to know which months are going to be high spending months and which ones are low spending months, especially for people who have the unfortunate circumstance where they are living paycheck to paycheck. There are people that are going to be in that situation. And if your goal is to try and stay, like you said, like cash flow positive, you actually have to really focus on these aspects.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you don't, you might put yourself in positions where you end up in debt. And then also you put yourself in positions where you're struggling, and that will affect you in so many different ways.
Yeah, like if I wasn't being mindful of these things, I could see myself easily spending more than I make this month. So it's doing everything I can to make sure that we are cash flow positive. And even when it comes to our bills, like we're always looking at ways to save money for things that we're paying for.
Yeah.
When it comes to our phone bills, our internet, our car insurance, literally like every aspect of things that we pay money for, we're looking at how to reduce our bills and our spending.
Yeah, and that's just being smart about it, right? Like if you are already struggling to be making your bills on time and you decide to buy the latest iPhone or buy a brand new car and you're really, really struggling, I think there are certain priorities that you have to have just to make sure that you're not going to put yourself in a debt situation and you're going to be screwed for longer, right?
Yeah.
So it's just good to be mindful of all these things. Let's talk about, actually, we were just talking about debt. So how about you talk about debt management?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important if you need to make sacrifices, then just be honest with people around you, your family, your friends, about you trying to save money to pay down debt.
Yeah.
No one's going to judge you for trying to be financially responsible.
Yeah.
And I think, especially when it comes to buying gifts for people around Christmas time or birthdays, there's so much pressure and expectation to do that. But if you're just honest with yourself and honest with people around you, it's like, well, it's okay to say no to like going out to a restaurant that you know is going to be expensive. Saying no to certain things that are going to help you just get ahead. And that's going to be temporary. You don't have to live like that for your entire life, but you have to think about, okay, what do I need to do today to make sure that I am paying down debt? And just prioritizing that.
And like you've mentioned, like it's okay to say no to things, right? So like there's sometimes where we had family birthdays and we all made the consensus to actually just stay indoors and eat at someone's house. And like at the end of the day, you're spending time with your family, you're spending time celebrating, but we didn't have to go to a restaurant and spend $100 each person just to do so, right? Like it's okay to save money because at the end of the day, no one's going to judge you for like, hey, for my birthday, I'd really like to just, stay indoors and just be with you guys.
Yeah, and I have my birthday coming up this week, and I told you, like, I'm not expecting anything. I know this is like a higher expense month for us, so we're gonna go to a restaurant that we have a gift card. And that's totally fine with me.
Yeah, it makes my life so much easier. I think the camera's dying.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. I want to talk about our mindset and visualization habits on the fitness side. So go ahead.
Positive self-talk is really important for me, and I think that has so many effects that you aren't even necessarily aware of when it comes to what you're saying to yourself every day.
Yeah.
Right? The power of just having the right mindset and having self-confidence is huge to me. So that's something I really value. And then just visualizing the results that I want to have. That's my why. That's what helps drive me. Yeah.
Cool. So I like that our contrast that we've had for this episode is that you're going to talk about your thing. And then when I bring up mine, it's very different from yours. So we have two sides and different perspectives to show the audience.
Yeah.
For myself, she just talked about positive self-talk. I'm very motivated by negative self-talk. I don't think it's the best thing for most people, but I like listening to, audios like David Goggins and other creators where they will literally just tell you, hey, stop being a punk and go do what you need to do.
Yeah.
And for myself, like that's exactly what I do. And that's how I live my life, where instead of thinking about the negatives and thinking about all the things I can't do, I'm just like, just go do them. And it's worked for me, right? And there's a lot of people out there that also that works for. When it comes to visualization, I don't really look into the overly long-term situations. I like to try and take everything one day at a time and just like live through the journey. So when it came to my bodybuilding prep, it was like, I wasn't necessarily trying to visualize what it's going to look like when I'm on stage. I was focusing so much more on like, I need to do X, Y, and Z every single day to lead myself to there. And then I will have a specific outcome because I decided to check off the boxes every day. It doesn't matter how crappy I felt every day. I needed to execute, and that's why I was successful. Right. And that's just exactly what happened. Right. So I think having both sides, it works for other people. You just have to figure out what works best for you and figure out what you need to be motivated. I've said this before. I'm not reliant on my motivation. I'm focused more on my discipline and just executing. But if some people need motivation, they need motivation, right? Like if positive self-talk and telling yourself and giving yourself daily affirmations helps you be successful, then do what you need to do.
And I love putting it pen to paper. Like, I'll write down every morning, what would make today great? I'll write down 3 things.
Yeah.
How do I want to feel today? Write down 3 things.
Yeah, and that works for you, right?
Yeah.
I have friends that also do that. Like you'll see them posting on Instagram, like have a great day and people just like hyping each other up on social media. And I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
And I do see the benefit to that, right? I do it as well for my viewers on Instagram and followers. But do I do that to myself every single day where I wake up in the morning, I'm like, today's going to be a great day? No, I just say, regardless of what kind of day this becomes, I'm going to go through it, regardless if it's good or bad.
Yeah.
Right. So it's funny how we have just such opposite experiences, but they do work for us. And it's because we made it work for us. So we're going to wrap up this episode a lot quicker than we expected, just because due to unfortunate circumstances, our battery is dying on our camera. But we really hope you guys were able to resonate with some of the habits that we talked about and will be able to implement them into your lifestyle.
I think we could probably talk about this for like 5 hours. There's so many on both our ends.
Yeah.
But those are some of the ones that we like to prioritize.
Yeah.
What would you say is your main takeaway from everything that we talked about?
I think the main takeaway is just being prepared, right? Not being so worried about the unknown and just having a game plan for every single day so that you know how to be successful. If you're better at writing things down, if you're better at positive self-talk, if you're better at hyping yourself up with certain things, like do what you need to do in order for your day to be successful. All right. I think that's everything. I think we covered everything you wanted to talk about today for this episode. So if you haven't done so yet, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share in the comments if you guys have any other topics you want us to cover for the next episodes. Thanks again for watching, and we appreciate you guys.
See you in the next one.